So, spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the orange, representing China, Zerg, it is Silky. And his opponent in the top right-hand side in the purple, representing Team Lao Pao, it's his fellow countryman, our Protoss player, Jieshi. This ought to be a really good match. These two players fairly even in skill. Now, it's a really, really interesting Group B here. Group B, I think Group A probably has two big favorites. If you missed Group A earlier, Time is already out of the group in first place. No surprises there. I think he's probably the favorite to take this entire event. Time is one of the strongest Chinese players right now. And if you've ever watched a Kung Fu Cup or really any tournament involving Korean and Chinese players, Time is a force to be reckoned with. And in Group A, I think Cyan is probably our other likely player to go through. Slightly more favored over Jieshi, who managed to edge out Breaking GG in a 2-1 in the losers match just a few moments ago. Group B, however, looks a lot more diverse and a lot more even. In addition to Jieshi, our Protoss player, and Silky, our Zerg player, who's taken that third place in an awkward position, forced out by that probe from Jieshi. In addition to Jieshi and Silky, we have got two other notable Chinese players, Maxed and Firefly. Maxed and Firefly, probably the two more notable players in Group B, but honestly, all four players in Group B seem very evenly matched, and I'm very excited to see what their overall group structure looks like. Like Group A, I probably could have predicted the results from today. I think I would have guessed that Breaking GG was going to beat Jieshi, but it was a very close match. And otherwise, everything looks roughly the same. Of course, Cyan and Jieshi are going to be playing in that finals, or that deciding match, tomorrow. However, in Group B, I'm not sure if I could choose an overall standout favorite between Maxed, Silky, Jieshi, and Firefly. Going to be a very interesting matchup today, and I'm so excited to see what the players go for. A couple links sneak in here into Jieshi's natural. Should make it all the way up into main. There's not much here to defend. Just a couple probes mated their way down. But these Zerglings more interested in getting some scouting. And scouting they will get. The Lings get in and they will see that Twilight Council on the way from Jieshi. Jieshi opening with Twilight Council. Should have a Robo coming down quite soon. My guess is this is going to be a Glaive Adept attack. Glaive Adepts, of course, doing massive, massive damage if you can rotate them around correctly. And it is going to be Glaive Adepts. Now, notably, Silky has not yet started his Robo. And there are a lot of Lings on the way. Wall is finished up here, but the Ling count from Silky is enormous. He's already got a bunch of Lings, 21 out, more on the way here. The Nidus Worm going down for Silky. I thought maybe he was going to go for an early-ish Spire. That's not going to be the case. He's going to pick down this Cybercore. The Cybercore might not finish. Oh my god, he's got Warp Gate Research on the way, but if he picks down the Cybercore, it's going to be real close. It's going to be a race against time. Oh, the Adept's going to chase it away, and the Cybercore will finish up its research. Oh man, if he would have stuck with it, I think he could have picked off that Cybercore and stopped Warp Gate Research from finishing. As it is, the Cybercore isn't going to finish, but there is more trouble afoot. The Dropper Lord up into the main. The Nidus Worm about to finish up back home, and Silky should be able to drop that Nidus opener once he gets all these Lings in the main to defend it. And there it is. The Nidus Worm entrance is coming down in the main of Jieshi. Jieshi with almost nothing on the map right now. He's got 2 Adepts. He's warping in 1 more Adept. Glaive's not even but a little over halfway done, but the Ling's now wreaking havoc in the main base. This is terrible for Silky, for Jieshi rather. Silky getting all sorts of damage on Lings, streaming in now to this Nidus Worm, and oh no, oh no, oh no. Probes pulled off the line. There is a Queen here to defend, spreading creep as well. Probes being forced to body block for these Adepts. Oh my god, the Probes not quite body blocking very well. These Lings tearing through the Probes. The probe count dropping precipitously now. The Probe's almost down to 0. The Adept 1 goes down. Adept 2, maybe it's just a shade down to the bottom side, but Adept 2 goes down. Adept 3 gonna get surrounded as well, and there ain't nothing here. Oh my gosh, Glaives is finished, but that is it. There are no Adepts left to defend. One last Adept pops out. There is a shield battery in the natural here, but that's it. GG. Jieshi is going to drop game number 1, and Silky walks away with the win. Wow. Really, really well played there by Silky. Very impressive stuff. Such an aggressive opener. Exactly what you'd expect from a Chinese Zerg player like Silky, who is known for not being afraid to play a little more aggressively. Let me get our players in here, putting down the lobby link. I'm doing a bit more admin work than usual in today's event, so sorry guys if my commentary isn't flawless. Hopefully most of you will be watching an ad during this time, if you're not running ad blocker. Hopefully you should be watching those ads to support your favorite Twitch streamers. And to support all the efforts here at DreamHack Summer. So we've got Silky in-game, we've got Jieshi in-game as well. The players should be ready to go. And we're going to hop into a quick game 2 as our Zerg player Silky jumps out to a 1-game lead. A very quick game number 1. All right, let me see if our players are ready. And if so, we'll hop straight in. Map number 2 going to be Everdream LE. And we are in. I'm just watching the end of the game now. What a wacky game 1. Silky coming out on top. Beautifully done. Beautifully done by Silky. All right. So, game number 2. Queued up now. Everdream LE. An oldie, but a goodie. A classic old map. Recycled in the map pool from last season. And we'll see if these players can make the most of it here in game 2. Spawning in the top right-hand side in the orange, it is our Zerg player. His name is Silky. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side in the purple, representing Team Lao Pao, it is Jieshi. All right, guys. Sorry, you're going to hear the audio dipping in and out over time. I don't know where the setting is for music always on in the background. I'm trying to work with some of these Chinese settings, but of course I'm in the Chinese client right now. Everything written in Chinese, and my Chinese is, well, it's not great. It's not great. Anyway, natural is going down here for Silky. Looks like a hatch gas pool opener, a very conservative opening this time for our Zerg player. Of course, he opened fairly conservatively last game, and we saw how that turned out with all those lings flooding across the map. Jieshi, meanwhile, gateway. Looks like it might just be a gateway expand here, saving up quite a bit of scratch. Sending this probe down, yeah, straight to the gateway area. It's going to be a gateway expand. Hatch gas pool finishing up, though, for Silky. And the gateway expand makes a lot of sense here. I thought Jieshi posturing as though he's going to cannon rush here, but I think Silky is not fooled. He would have seen a bit more of an aggressive pylon placement, perhaps, or the probe may have stayed a little bit closer to the pylon. So he knows it's not going to be a cannon rush. The pylon's canceled, and Jieshi should get kicked away. Silky try and move down and take a third base here, but the probe should be able to block it away. Might be forced to pull a second drone. Wouldn't be surprised to see a pylon block. No pylon block. That's okay. So Jieshi is going to grab, not going to be able to slow down Silky from grabbing that third base. As the spawning pool finishes up in the main, we do see roughly 70 gas out for Silky. Once he gets up to 100, we'll start mining, or we'll start at ling speed right away, I'm sure. And then he immediately pulls his drones off of gas. Jieshi notices that. Ling speed on the way, but no additional tech yet for Silky. Jieshi on the other side of the map, just getting out to chronoing out his first adept and working on warp gate research now. So as we said, very standard game here for both players. Twilight Council, going to be the opening tech for Jieshi. We saw him go for Twilight Council first last game. He went straight into Glaive Adepts last game. I do wonder if he's going to try something a little bit different this game. We see him building one Stalker already. One Adept is out on the map. Yeah, going across right now to try and get a scout in. Ling should be able to push it away pretty quickly. He might get a Ling kill. No, nice pull by Silky. That's going to save both those Lings. The Queen defending that Creep Tumor with its life. Of course, the Creep Tumor, the first Creep Tumor, a very valuable target for any Glaive Adept. You always want to pick down that first Creep Tumor, if at all possible. Really slows down the creep spread of your Zerg opponent. And Silky is a player who doesn't spread too terrible much creep. So it'll be really good to see him keeping up with that creep spread. Depth goes down. Good snipe by Silky, but so far, very calm, even game. And it looks like this is going to be the same build that Jieshi tried last game, but wasn't able to make it work. Unfortunately, he didn't have time to to get a Robo down. Didn't have time to get Glaive Adepts out. The Nidus Worm play combined with the Dropper Lord really putting the pressure on early, so Jieshi wasn't able to execute his strategy last game. This game, going to be slightly different. Silky going up to Lairtech and Roach Warren. We're going to see a speed Roach timing out of Silky here in game number 2. This time we do see a Robo finally down for Jieshi. Again, similar timings to game number 1. That Robo should be for the Warp Prism to reinforce the Glaive Adept push. We see the first 4 Glaive Adepts finishing up as Gateways 3 and 4 finish. Pardon me, just Gateway 3. No Gateway number 4 yet for Jieshi. So 3 Gate Glaive Adept out of our Protoss player. Third base established for Silky. He is saturating that up just a little bit more, but working on 16 Lings already. Lairtech finishing soon. Roach speed should be on the way, but he's got a lot of Lings out right now just in case there's some early aggression from Jieshi, and there is in fact early aggression from Jieshi. Look at this. 7 Adepts already out. Now there's no Warp Prism, which is a little surprising. Jieshi's had this Robo done for a long time. Looks like he's going to go Warp Prismless aggression. Sending these Adepts out with no Warp Prism to support. In fact, going for Observer first, skipping the Warp Prism altogether. Now Glaives finishes up these transferring Lings, will find this Glaive Adept push, and that should spawn a couple more, spur Silky to build a couple more Roaches, but he's going to counterpunch. Lings now focus firing down this wall here, getting some good pressure on the initial wall. Observer is out. There's no Immortal here. There's only 1 Stalker. These Lings actually have really good surface area. Meanwhile, the Glaive Adepts have been pushed back. They're not doing a lot of damage on the other side of the map. In fact, the Glaive Adepts have been pulled back to deal with these Lings. The Lings getting some good shots off, but unfortunately for Silky, not able to close the gap or open up that wall. Third base now going down for Jieshi. Silky, however, in a good spot, adding on Spore Crawlers in case there's some DT shenanigans that he hasn't seen yet. And the Forge coming down for Jieshi, indicating that he wants to get some upgrades on the map, but Silky's army supply looking pretty scary. Now, most of this is in Lings, and the Lings are going to break like waves upon the rocks on this natural. But if the Adepts find themselves in a really bad position, if Jieshi makes a positional error here, these Speedlings can get on top of the Adepts and do a lot of damage. He's trying to draw those Adepts out. He wants those Adepts to fight him right here in the open where he can get full surface area. He's only got 1 Ravager and 2 Roaches, so not a very hefty army. 2 Ravagers and 2 Roaches, so not a very hefty army right now from Silky, just mostly in Lings. There is an Immortal out. There's no shield battery at the natural here, and this is what he wants. He wants those Adepts to engage him right in the middle. Right in the middle. Come on, pull out with your Immortal. Put your Immortal right in the middle. Let me surround it with my Lings and pick it down. Not the case though. Jieshi going to be too cautious for that to happen. Jieshi isn't going to lose anything in that attack. Silky, meanwhile, only barely ahead in workers. The work count 60 to 52. We are going to see the knee of the curve right now for Silky. Look at the army supply graph. We're about to see Silky's army supply explode. He's going to get up to 60 drones, give or take. And from there, he should just start working on Roaches. We can see him building 4 Overlords, getting ready for this big supply explosion that he wants to happen very soon. 6, 7 Overlords. This is the laser level Overlords coming out from Silky here. Goodness gracious. As speed finishes, as +1 makes its way onto the map, we also see him dropping that Spire. Spire immediately spotted by Jieshi. I wonder if that's just for a cancel. Yeah, he's going to cancel that Spire, and haha, Jieshi too smart for him. Jieshi's Hallucinating Phoenix pops back in and sees, aha, you're trying to trick me, but I cannot be fooled. Nice. That was a cute play from Silky there, but Jieshi doubling back on this scout and sees that Spire canceled, so not going to prepare for any anti-Mutalisk play. 5 more gates finishing up soon for Jieshi as Blink and +1 make their way onto the field. Silky's army supply, though, as we said, knee of the curve. We can see it spiking up dramatically here in the army supply graph. The income should be fairly even, in fact, going in favor of Jieshi here as the drone and probe count even themselves up, even with the 4th base down. I'm not sure that Silky's going to have a big advantage this game. Adept's going to get maybe 1 or 2 drone kills here. Yeah, 2 drone kills before they do get sniped down. A couple more Adepts get picked off there, but Silky's army starting to grow. The army supply for Silky, 122 right now. Jieshi working on his 3rd base, cranking out a lot more probes, trying to invest in tech here. A lot more gateways coming down. Robo Bay coming down, looking to tech up into Disruptor, but it's going to be a long time before those Disruptors are on the map, and we're going to see Silky pushing into the 3rd base for some big aggression very soon. Now, Shield Battery Overcharge is available, and there are 2 Shield Batteries here, but this is a metric crap ton of Roaches and Ravagers, guys. So many. Force Fields go down, but Corrosive Bile is going to pick them down very quickly here. Shield Batteries out of energy immediately here. There's also some Lings pecking away at the natural. A little bit of lag there. Hopefully that's not me. Hopefully one of the players instead. For those of you wondering what looks different on this map, a reminder, we are playing on the Chinese server, and Chinese video game laws prevent blood and gore from showing, so the Zergs exploded to pools of black Zerg liquid rather than blood. Anyway, the army supply for Silky is just so much here. There are 3 Immortals out for Jieshi, though, and as long as those Immortals are alive, then Jieshi may have a chance of defending. Some good Corrosive Bile, softening up that army a lot, though, and the Lings in the background trying to prevent some of these units from retreating, and with no way to retreat, even a quick blink out. The Ling's getting on top of all these units here. The War Prism trying to save what it can. 1 Immortal has gone down. The other 2 Immortals still alive, but only just. Zealot's not able to do it, and there's 90 army supply now to 22. Silky is just going to overrun his opponent, picking off this 3rd base almost as an afterthought. 2 Immortals, a couple of Stalkers, 1 Disruptor, but the Disruptor should go down. The Disruptor Ball won't. Oh, the Disruptor Ball will finish. Only 1 Ravager goes down, though, and 2 Immortals saved in the Warp Prism, but it's simply not going to be enough. Shield Battery Overcharge not available for Jieshi right now. He's warping in a couple more units here, but the Cyber Core dangerously low. The Cyber Core gonna fall. The first gate gonna fall. The second gate under duress as well. And these Roaches and Raptors can buy all sorts of time for Silky. 96 army supply to 31. The game not over, of course. Jieshi has 2 Immortals. He's got a prayer. Disruptor is going to pop out. Disruptor is going to go down here. Immortals being picked up by Jieshi. Nice micro. But it's simply not enough. Silky going to overwhelm his opponent in game 2. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Silky grabs the series 2-0, and he will advance to the winner's match, which will be played